The best piece of advice I have for someone trying to succeed in the film industry or any creative space is if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're doing it wrong.
One of the best to ever do it.
What is freedom? I think I stole this from Bob Dylan, but maybe I stole this from Woody Guthrie. Freedom for me is waking up in the morning and going to sleep at night, and in between doing exactly what I want to do. What's the secret to happiness? The secret to happiness is finding something you love and then doing that for the rest of your life.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success, and I want to say thank you for joining me. Now, here in a minute, we're going to get to reviewing one of your websites, and I do want to point out that while this has been pre-recorded, I'm hanging out in the chat, interacting with you guys live and answering your questions. Now, if you're interested in having your website reviewed, there's a link in the description below this video where you can submit your site. And in addition to getting a site review, I also offer a one-on-one session to each photographer who has had a site review done to help them answer any questions or assist in making any changes that they may want to make. Now, don't forget, we also live stream every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. Let's go. All right, here we are on michellesmithphotography.com, and I want to say thank you so much, Michelle, for submitting your site to be reviewed. Hopefully this is helpful, and we're just going to go ahead and get started right here on the homepage. So first of all, I do want to point out, great job setting up a custom domain and then getting this favicon up here to match your branding. So great job on that. And you also have a nice logo right here as well. So good job getting your custom logo set up. But let's go ahead and jump in and start talking about your site menu items. So the first thing that I notice is under portfolios, we have wedding videos, business portraits, business videos. But everything that I'm looking at says that you're a wedding photographer primarily, and I'm not seeing a wedding photography portfolio. So I feel like that's kind of missing out of this portfolio drop-down section. The other thing that I noticed as well is that you have business portraits here in this drop down under your portfolio, but you also have business portraits up here as its own menu item as well. And I did check these links that do go to the exact same thing. So my suggestion would be, let's go ahead and get rid of this and just leave the one under your portfolio section. The other thing that I noticed too about your site menu item is that you have client access set up as a drop down, but there's nothing else in it. So you might want to just consider removing that from being a drop down to just client access as a menu item like the rest of these over here. Because it's a little weird that it's a drop down. I mean, it doesn't hurt anything. It definitely works the exact same way. It's just kind of funny that it's a drop down when there's only one menu item there. Now, if you were thinking about creating a clients section on your menu item, then you definitely want to just change this to say clients. Then it can have client access, and then maybe if you have like a frequently asked questions page, or if you have a client login page, you could put that under your client's drop-down menu item there. All right, the images on your homepage, there are a lot of photos on your homepage, and one of the things that I notice is as the slideshow progresses, the images seem to be a little bit newer photos. So I would definitely suggest going back through and maybe doing some culling, some weeding on some of these images, and maybe just present your best 10 to 15 images here on the homepage slideshow. So if you had 10 to 15 seconds to show somebody photos to convince them to hire you as a photographer, those are the images that you want to show here on the homepage. Now, the one thing that I noticed is that these are all wedding images. I didn't see any business portraits or anything related to that here. So you might want to consider getting in some of your business portraits. Now, I know that could be difficult with business portraits. Primarily, most of them are probably in the portrait orientation. So what you're going to need to do is fire up Photoshop and put some of those portrait images together as a collage so that they fit a landscape style spacing here, so that they don't get cropped off when you use them on your homepage. But I would definitely consider revisiting the images that you're showing here, culling them down a little bit, and then including some of your business portraits and stuff that you do in here. Now, I love this text that you have right here. It tells me where you are and what you do, and then it has your contact information here as well. So this is a great job. This is good for search engines. It's good for people landing right here. Immediately, they know if they can hire you as a photographer because you're in their area and what you offer. So great job setting that up. Overall, I think you've done a nice job on your homepage. I would just consider maybe revisiting those site menu items, reorganizing it a little bit, and then revisiting your images a little bit. But overall, great job on your site, on your homepage here. So let's go ahead and check out your portfolio. So what we're going to do is just hover over the portfolio. Let's start with your wedding videos. Now, again, I really feel like we're missing a wedding photography portfolio, especially since you seem to primarily be a wedding photographer. I would love to have a place to go and browse that and just look at your wedding photos. But here are your wedding videos. And the first thing I want to say is that I feel like these thumbnails are a little bit on the larger size. So this is the thumbnail page. And really the thumbnail page is to make it easy for people to have a quick overview and to see, you know, most of what's in there before deciding to click on something. So I would definitely reconsider the size of these thumbnails, maybe make them a little bit smaller. What do you guys think in chat though? Do you guys think these are a little big for thumbnail images, or do you think they're a good size? Like, let me know in chat. What do you guys think? But for me personally, I think these are a little large, because when somebody is going to click on here to actually watch this video, it's going to open up in this view anyway. Let me just let it play, but mute it. It's going to open up in this view anyway, where it's a larger view of the video. So you can go ahead and make these thumbnails a little bit smaller. That way people can see more without having to scroll down to the bottom. Now, the other thing I feel like I'm missing on this page as well is a nice caption. So there's no information on this page so far that tells me, you know, if I'm a search engine and I'm indexing this, there's nothing here that's telling me what this is about. So I would definitely consider going into your wedding videos gallery, writing up a nice gallery caption, and then making sure that you categorize it and keyword it, and then making sure that you have that category and keyword set to show down here, just so you get the benefit of better search results, because you're giving the search engines more information to index this page, to understand what it's about, and to better present you to people who are searching for this type of content. Now, while we're down here at the bottom, you have your footer showing, and the only thing it has is this login link. Maybe you want to remove this login link from the footer. Go ahead and hide your footer, get rid of this little separation down here, and put that login up here under your client's access dropdown. So maybe just change this to say clients, client access, and client login would be a good thing to have here. Now, since we've switched over to this portfolio, we have switched to using your header. And the one thing that I'll say is you have your search bar showing on your header. So I just want to make sure that that is something that you're optimizing for. And in fact, let's do a quick search and just see. All right, so weddings, is this something that you want people accessing? Is this something that people should search for and see? So right now I'm seeing all of these wedding photos in here in this search result. What else can we find under the search page? Let's do portraits. Let's see if anything comes up. Oh, here we go. Here's a bunch of portraits. Is this stuff that people should be seeing and being able to find? Are these galleries that should be able to be accessed? Is there a reason to have the search bar up here? Is this a path that you want clients and visitors taking? If so, that's fine. Just make sure that you're optimizing it so that the stuff that doesn't need to show up in the search results is not showing up, and the stuff that does need to show up is showing up. And then while you're at that, if you want this to be used, make sure that you come in here and customize this search page. I did do a Zenfolio live stream all about customizing the built-in search page. So if you want to use this, make sure that you go check that out. All right, let's hop back to your portfolio. Let's go check out your business portraits portfolio. Now, same thing as before. I'm not seeing a gallery caption up here. Let's see if there are categories and keywords in the bottom. no categories and keywords, so not a lot of information for search engines to index and rank this in search accordingly. So something you definitely want to make sure that you're doing. Write a caption, talk about the types of portraits you offer, the type of services you offer, talk about, you know, maybe if you've worked with some specific clients that you want to name drop in that caption, go ahead. And then make sure that you're categorizing and keywording this. Again, that's going to be really beneficial to your SEO and help your page and your portraits show up in search results. Now, this page is using a square grid, and for the most part, for these type of images, this square grid works really well, especially if you're centering your subject. But if you get into any images where you're not centering your subject, there was like 2 down here, this can start to look a little strange and a little cropped. So you definitely want to think about this when you're choosing your grid style. Zenfolio has a couple of different grid styles. Normally, I recommend using grid A or grid B. It's going to show your images in their true orientation and not crop the images off like we're seeing here now. So definitely something to think about. Like I said, for most of the images, this square grid works pretty well when your subjects are centered on your image. That's perfectly fine. It's just those 1 or 2 where they're not centered that image starts to look cropped. So just something to think about. Now, the other thing too that I notice is when I hover over the image, we have the little Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest icons show up where people can share these images directly to that social media network. Now, it doesn't actually share the image, it shares the image as a thumbnail with a link back to your gallery. But is this something you want people seeing on your portfolio? Or do you want to keep it a little bit cleaner and have that stuff set to hide so that they don't get that when they're hovering over? Totally up to you, just something I want to point out here as well. Now, this gallery has quite a few images. I feel like it's almost pushing the threshold of being maybe close to being too many. So these images that you're showing in here, you definitely want to make sure that you're being strategic when you're selecting them for specific purposes. If you could only show me, a potential client, 20 photos to get me to hire you as my headshot photographer, what 20 photos are you going to show me? And that's what should be in here. And so you definitely just want to make sure that you're being selective and you're keeping your portfolio up to date. A lot of times as photographers, we get really busy and we forget to go back in here, you know, every 6 months or maybe a year and update our portfolio. So make sure that you're doing that as well. Also, a couple of these have watermarks on them, some of them don't. So just something to think about too is keeping things consistent. But overall, I think you've done a nice job on this page. Just a few things that I would think about. The other thing too is these buttons up here. Is there a reason for them to show? Is this something that you want potential visitors, potential clients to see and kind of play around with? Or do you want them just to focus on looking at your images and then contacting you? Because this could potentially get them distracted from the course that you want them to follow. So just thinking about that. All right, let's go ahead and hover back over here and let's check out your business videos. Now, these are a little bit smaller thumbnails. I definitely think this is a little bit better than the wedding videos where the thumbnails were large. These are a little bit smaller. It's a little easier to kind of scroll and preview these really quickly. At least you get 2 options. Some of these, though, you want to think about the thumbnails. You can customize the video thumbnails. So you want to think about what is being used as that video thumbnail and make sure that it's not just a black like fade in screen or something. So going back and editing that video's thumbnail is definitely going to be beneficial. Now, again, I'm not seeing a category or I'm not seeing a caption up here. I'm still seeing these buttons. Is this stuff that's beneficial? Let's put a caption in here and let's also get some keywording in this gallery so that it helps your SEO and helps your search results. And these videos are being presented to people who are doing searches for this type of content. So definitely something to think about. All right, and as I've already pointed out, the business portraits that is in the portfolio dropdown is the same that's on your site menu item. So definitely want to think about that, maybe revisit that, remove this, and just leave this one that's under here. But let's jump over to your About page really quick. All right, so here is your About page. We do have a photo of you and some short text here. I would definitely consider, for one, a couple things. So you are doing video. One of the best ways to let people connect with you is with a video. So I would definitely think about doing a custom about page and putting an about video in here and giving us a little bit more information to go off of. Not that this is a bad photo or that this doesn't tell us much, but as a visitor, once I've made it to your about page, I've probably already decided, okay, I like their work. I can hire them. They work in my area. Like, let me know more about this photographer or this videographer. Is this somebody that I'm going to get along with? Is this somebody that I'm going to want to hire? And really let your personality come through. So I think a video is the best way to do that. And if you are showing that you do video work and that you are doing business highlight videos or business commercial videos, you really should have one here for yourself to show that off as well. What do you guys think in chat? Do you guys think an about video would work better? Do you think we need some more text? Like, what do you guys have on your about pages in chat? Let me know. But I am definitely a big advocate for video. I think it's the best way to let your personality come across and to shine. All right, let's check out your blog. All right, so we got your blog here. Let's just scroll down and take a look. Definitely something that you want to think about on your blog is that main image. I think it's called the blog preview image. I forget what exactly it's called, but it's down in the bottom left section of when you're creating the blog. And just something you want to think about is that image going to work, or are we going to be looking at somebody's stomach as the image? So something to think about here as well. Well, let's just scroll down. Let's see. So you got quite a few blogs going here. Just keep looking. All right, so let's see the date of this blog. Are we gonna get a date? February 21st. So the last blog post was February 21st, and it looks like it's a bunch of images with just a little bit of text. So definitely, when you're doing a blog post, it definitely should be a balanced mix of images and text. I mean, I think it's fine to have more images than you have text, but definitely some more text in here. Like, I would start this out with a short introduction of why you did this shoot, what this shoot is about, what is the purpose of this, why should I read this blog post, like what are you trying to convince me of, or what are you trying to tell me about, or what are you trying to display here, like rather than just start right off with an image. Let's start with a few texts just talking about the shoot. And keep in mind, right, that we blog for a couple of reasons. So your blog post serves a couple of different purposes. One, when you regularly blog, it shows people that you're still alive, that you're still active, that your business has a pulse. So it needs to be on a consistent basis. So this one was on February. We missed March, we missed April, it's now May. Let's try to get a blog post up at least once a month so that you can show people and visitors that you have a pulse, that you're active, that you're engaged, that you're alive, and that your business is thriving. So that's one purpose. The next purpose is just to share some content, right? It's a nice, easy way to share some content out, to just show what you've been working on. And that's definitely nice. And then the third purpose of a blog, or really probably the main purpose of writing a blog, is for its SEO benefits. But if that blog just contains a bunch of images and not text, or not enough text, then you're really not getting the SEO benefit out of it that you should be. So making sure that you put in some text information, the location, the company name, the type of photography that you did, like that kind of stuff that people are going to be searching for. You want to write it for your visitors, but also dropping in keywords so that it gets SEO benefit as well. All right. So again, making sure that you're keeping that blog consistent at least once a month, putting in a little bit more text here. You don't have to go overboard. You don't have to write a novel, just adding in some text in between your images to get that SEO benefit. These are beautiful photos though. I think this is an awesome job. I just want to see a little bit more text in here because what is the difference right now between this and a gallery? There's not a big difference right now. Okay, let's check out your client access page really quick. All right, so this is the built-in client access page. Now, one thing that I always say here is that this is your client access page. So this is for people who are already your clients. So you can show an image on this page, but what a great place to say thank you to your clients when they're going to access their images and enter that gallery ID. What a nice place to have an image to say, you know, thank you, we appreciate you so much, and just a nice little message from you to them telling them thank you for their business and just letting them know how much you appreciate them. That is a great thing to do on the client access page because we know it's already for your existing clients. Okay. So far, I feel like we're really missing a couple of very important and vital pieces to your website. One being your wedding photography portfolio. I've seen business portraits, I've seen wedding videos, I've seen business videos, but you are saying that you are a wedding photographer, and I have not seen a wedding photography portfolio. So I feel like we're missing that very vital piece of information. The other thing as well is the only place that I've seen information on how to contact you was on the homepage. I don't see a contact page in your site menu anywhere. Zenfolio has a really easy to use built-in contact page. If you don't want to design a custom one, go ahead and get that set up and show that. That way people can see right on your site menu where they need to go to contact you, because right now the only place I've seen any of that type of information has been on your homepage, and it's a phone number, and sometimes people are intimidated by reaching out and calling the first time. So you really need to have a way for me to send you a quick and easy message, because sometimes people are intimidated by having to call you for the very first time when they just want to ask a few questions. Maybe they just want to see if you're still in business. Maybe they just want to see if you're in their budget, something like that. Make it really easy for them. So those are the two big pieces of information I feel like we're missing. And then again, just a few of the small suggestions, like revisiting these images, making sure that you're calling them, keeping this up to date, narrowing it down to the 10 to 15 images that you would show me if you only had 10 seconds to get me to hire you as a photographer. What photos are you going to show me in that 10 to 15 seconds? And then thinking about the grids that you're using on your portfolios, and then categorizing and keywording everything so that you get that SEO benefit. Overall, I think you've got a great site. Thank you so much, Michelle, for submitting this. I think you have a great site, and hopefully this review was helpful, and I look forward to seeing your progress and seeing you be successful here on Zenfolio. Thank you guys so much for watching that site review. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button and hit the little bell icon so you get notified when we post videos and when we go live. Now, if you're interested in having your site reviewed, there's a link in the description below this video where you can submit your website for that. And in addition to getting a site review, you're also going to get a link where you can schedule a session with me. We're going to go over your website, go over the review. I'll answer any questions that you have and help you make any changes that you're interested in making. So the link to sign up for that is in the description below this video. Now, don't forget, Zenfolio Live coming up this Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you guys there. Until then, I hope you have a great week.